Hello, the heat's been on at the top and bottom of Super League. The latest round of matches was played on a glorious midsummer weekend. And coming up, we've got highlights from all 7 games. It wasn't quite fun in the sun for everyone involved, but there was plenty going on. Champions Wigan, who went into the weekend in first place. They hit top spot on Wednesday after winning their game in hand against Widnes. Jamie, that's quite some win, wasn't it, for Wakefield?
Yeah, they'll be very pleased with that. I think to beat the Wigan side, have played 3 games in 8 days and had some...
Tim Smith is back there after an unhappy spell at Salford, it's fair to say. How key do you think he's been in the last couple of games for them?
Yeah, I think he's crucial. I think he's naturally seems very comfortable at Wakefield. The move to Salford didn't quite work out, and he's come back to an...
Do you think a build on that win?
I think they need to get themselves clear of Bradford. I think they're 3 points above them now. I think they'll set themselves a target, maybe 2 or 3 more wins.
Do you think they can hang on to Tim Smith for next year? Because it does seem to work, doesn't it? It seems to work with the rest of the team and bring the best out of the other players.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd love to return his services. I think in terms of the club...
With Wigan beaten at Wakefield, St Helens would return to the top of the table if they could get the better of Castleford. Saints, remember, were hammered 42-0 in France last week, so your team needed to respond, didn't they, John?
Yeah, thanks for the emphasis on hammer.
Well, Matt Diskin took charge of Bradford for the first time on Friday. He's in temporary control after the sacking of Francis Cummings last week. Bradford will be making an announcement about their new coach on Tuesday with the former Bulls player. James Lowe's the red-hot favourite. He's a man you know well, Jamie. Is that a good appointment?
If he does make it, then yes, I think he will be. I think Jimmy's just what the club need. He's passionate about...
In the game, short-termism doesn't really take hold, you know, with the new structure coming up.
What did you make of the sacking of Francis Cummings?
I think it was difficult. I think it's difficult for Franny because he's...
Well, Bradford were against Hull KR on Friday. It's getting close to crunch time for the Bulls, who must start winning soon. Rovers needed the points to get back into the playoff race. Stuart Pike saw this one. Hull KR needed that win, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They needed to get that win. I think Josh Hodgson and Travis Burns were particularly influential in that game. I think they're their best 2 players by some way for Hull KR, and they're playing particularly well at the moment.
Well, let's take a look at Travis Burns as you've picked him out. Do you think he's grown this year with Dobson gone?
I love him, I think he's a great player. He's a great player to watch. He's such a competitor. I think the tougher the game gets, the better he...
It's those qualities that make him stand out amongst his peers.
I think he's grown as well. He's a lot more calm-headed than he came from the NRL.
Well, with England and Australia both out of the World Cup, there aren't too many Super League players with an interest left in the football. The one exception is Hull Kingston Rovers' A.D. Gardner, who, despite being from Barrow, has a Brazilian mother. Well, he told us the story at Copa Craven Park.
Andercock thinks very highly of him at Hull KR.
Well, Jamie Jones Buchanan and Paul Ayton were back in the Leeds squad for their trip to Widnes. Jamie, you sat this one out, but how did you...
Players, but also some good young players as well.
So Leeds return to winning ways. We're 4 games down with 3 still to go. Well, Salford made the short journey to Warrington, where they were hoping to end the Wolves' 5-match winning run. And the Red Devils got off to a flyer, John, scoring after just 90 seconds. Well, Hull were back on the road on Saturday. They've been clocking up the miles and the points in recent weeks with big wins at London and Widnes. This time, they were in Perpignan to face the Catalan Dragons. John Lee Bradford really disappointed not to get anything out of that game, but bemoaned his team's decision-making in a lot of points in the match. Do you think that's been one of their key problems through the season?
Yeah, I think if they've ever had a shortfall, Hull, I think...
You've got Catalan next, but over here, I suppose that the big thing for Laurent Fresnel is how do you get them to play in Catalan in Leeds?
Yeah, they are a different side when you play them away. The results show that. I think...
Well, Huddersfield had won 7 of their last 8 matches, and that run was always likely to be extended on Saturday. The Giants were up against bottom club London, and still no sign of a win for the Broncos. So Huddersfield continue their impressive form. Let's find out where the Giants and everyone else stands in the First Utility Super League table.